All right. I was asked to make a video of me installing the Haldin Redlizard K1. I did an unboxing video the other day, but I put it all back in the box, so let's do it again, shall we? Box. Let's see, here's how it's going to come presented. Focus. Let's see, get a little bag of goodies, a little thermistor tube, wrenches, extra screws, the usual. I was actually impressed. They updated the instructions from last time. They weren't this detailed, at least not that I can remember. Let's see. And the main unit itself, get this big wrench out of here. I don't really think I'll be needing that. For anybody who does 3D maintenance on a normal basis, I absolutely love this little guy. Got it from Home Depot. Little Crescent brand crescent wrench. Absolutely awesome. Comes in handy all the time. Here's the main unit. All right. So I think the majority of people are actually interested in seeing the hot end taken apart. There's not a lot of videos on people taking it apart. It's not too terribly difficult. So, first things first, I broke the tab off my Titan's extruder's release diddly bob a couple weeks ago. That's not fun. Gonna have to 3D print a replacement for that. Let's see. Start with my mess of tools here. Let's see. I don't remember. Yep. Okay. So this is 2mm. You're gonna have 2 screws on this side, on the inside of it. You know, believe it or not, I have a light above me to try to cast more light down, but it's not doing that great of a job, which is why we have the phone. So, pull you back a little bit. Sorry, I'm an unorganized mess, which I guess I could edit this. So, 2 screws here and here, and one more right here. Those are the only things holding this whole thing together. The screws on the front are just for the fans, and I think for the little part end cooler. So let's go ahead and get that off. This was originally my daughter's 3D printer, but she has lost interest. She's actually had it for a year and a half, I think. And most of that time, like, she started 3D printing it. She made little rings for her and her friends, made some toys, made a few bucks on the side. And then she lost interest. Some other life things come up, but so now I've adopted it until she wants it back. Probably end up changing a lot more than just the hot end. Before you pull on it, you want to release the extruder's. I need to move this more into frame. I apologize. You want to remove the extruder's cable. And then you will be stuck by the hot end itself, by the power cable and the thermistor, and the fan that's attached just by this little guy. It just clips on to the actual hot end itself, onto the heatsink. Just kind of pull that guy off. Come on. Let it go. I'm sure there's a better way to get this thing off. Maybe slide it down. I'm not sure. It doesn't want to let go for me. Let's see. I will get you. There we go. Gotta stop babying it. And the hot end itself isn't really held in like on a Creality machine, for example. You've got the top of the hot end will have 2 screws on each side going into the base plate that slides on the x-axis. That's not the case here. It's literally just held in to the Titan extruder itself. There's a bit of PTFE tubing. I'll show you all that in a little bit. 2 pieces of PTFE tubing, I should say. And we'll get to that in a minute. Let me turn this bad boy. So after this point, some people might want to take this whole thing apart, get this out, and that's perfectly fine. I'm too lazy. I'm not trying to do all that. So I'm just going to take the Titan extruder apart. It's going to come apart anyways. So that we can release the original hot end. Not sure that these screws really have an order. I don't mess with a lot of Titan hot ends other than on this printer. Let's go ahead and raise you up a little bit. I was originally planning on doing this as a live stream, but I have a total of 3 kids, 4 dogs, several cats. It gets noisy. Having the ability to edit comes in clutch. Like that, the door comes off. In fact, I'll just leave these screws in here, that way I don't fuck up their order. One is significantly shorter than the other 2. The one that went on the bottom right above the hot end itself, is the shorter one. Put a little pressure on it, flip it upside down, it can go right there. Alright, and then the hot end itself, take a little bit of pressure off. Be careful, all this is under spring tension, just like that. It's alright. Take a look at this while we got it off. I'll find that spring in a minute. Yeah, see, I snapped that guy off pretty good there. Wasn't even putting that much pressure on it. So now that we got all that loose, this all slides out. Heck, I can clean it here while I'm at it. Here is that gear. Just going to set this up here. So this is a bit of a balancing act. This piece, let's see, there you are. This piece right here will sit on top of the hot end, right? It'll sit right here, and they slide in together like so, right? And then this right here has a little point on it to go in between the extruder gears to try to help from having the filament get jammed up in the extruder itself. All right, the meat and potatoes. Look at this nasty thing. Yeah, we started having problems. I'm pretty sure the PTFE tube inside has totally deteriorated. So let's get this bad boy out. Got 1 screw right in here, right next to the nozzle. That's holding the actual heat cartridge in. The thermistor is taped to the heat cartridge wiring, like the wires taped together, and it's just kind of sitting in there. The tape holds it enough, I guess. Undo the screw. And these should, if you don't have a lot of melted plastic on them, like I seem to, just slide out. You want to be careful with the glass bead, because that's what your thermistor is in this case. Yeah, I got some melted plastic on here. I might need to grab my heat gun. You don't want to tug on it too hard, because you can tear these thin little wires right off that glass bead. Well, if that happens, I've got extra thermistors around here somewhere. So I'm going to be a little rougher with it than I probably should. No, that's not going to work. Well, all right, 2 seconds. Let me go grab my heat gun, wherever that may have run off to. That's right. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. All right. Sorry about that. We got it apart though. Had to grab a pair of pliers and destroy the bead. No, the bead's fine. The wires all look intact. The bead itself looks fine. So this right here is the original heatsink with the small PTFE tube liner inside there. You see it? It is absolutely shot, and I didn't want to mess with it anymore. For all metal hot ends, so that's what we're going to go with. In fact, let's see if we can get that out. Take a look at it. I'm trying to grab it without cutting it. Here we go. I got a little piece of, I don't know if that's PTFE tube or some PLA that was in there. I don't remember having any white PLA in there though, so I'm going to assume that that's part of the tube. Let's see if we can find something small enough to push the tube the rest of the way out. There we go. Maybe we did have white in there. Yeah, it looks like it. So that was our issue. We had just a little bit right there clogging it up. And that's what made me decide to finally move on. There's a little right there too, clogging it up. Right above the black, where it's all burnt out. So, this is all trash now. Keep the hot end. You never know what you may end up needing it for. I personally wasn't able to get the heat break out of the heat sink though. And for the disassembly of this, put it back together like it was. Let's see, more like that. What I used is a 1/4 inch socket. I'm sure there's one that fits it better, right? But that's what I had, and it worked. And now it's all snugged back up and ready to be thrown in a parts bin with its nasty old nozzle. Let's see, what next? So we've got a 24 volt 50 watt heat cartridge. A little dirty, but it'll be all right. Tiny little 24 volt. What size are you? Tiny, that's what size it is. I'm sure somebody will comment somewhere at some point on what size it is. Gets the job done though. All right. So, while we're here, let me grab my brass brush. I have hidden right out of camera view. Oh, hello. It's always nice to have a soft brass brush around to clean off your steel parts, such as this very dirty extruder. Probably got all that on there from when it got clogged. The hot end got clogged, and it just kept grinding away at the filament. I'm not sure. Does anybody else use more than just a brass brush? Does anybody use anything more than that to clean their parts off? Yeah, the main gear in there looks fine. Alright. Oh, I still gotta find that spring. Hey, look. I found that spring. We are now sprung. This is one piece I'm worried about. That looks like the same itty bitty PTFE tube. It's bigger. That's bigger. Let's try to get this. I'm going to try to get this out. Maybe replace it with a little bit of Capricorn to go from this into the hot end. I don't need it to be super precise, I don't think. I just, because it's an all metal hot end, I just need it enough to fill most of that void. Caliper going. Zero it out. So the tube, the PTFE tube that was inside the hot end, I know a lot of people already know. Let's get it right here on the edge. 3.05, 2.99, 3.05. So yeah, it definitely melted quite a bit down there at the bottom. All right, so it's a 3-ish, right? Outer diameter. And the one that was in the extruder should be right about 4. Yep. 4.05. 4.03. Yep. Normal PTFE tube. Horn 3.94. 0.94. 3.93, so a little smaller, but that's fine. Let's see. Before I put them away, let's see how long this piece was. 16.5. Spin it a little bit. 16.55. Yep. Okay. And zero it again. See how much we need. So the cool thing about a caliper, I'm pretty new to these. I've only been using them for a year or so. I didn't really have a use for them before. I'm a truck driver. You've got it zeroed out. You can now push this in here and see how deep it goes, how deep you need it. 17.7. Yep, 17.7. So if we take the 17.7 there, and I'll be honest, I don't remember what this one was at all. 16.5. Around 35 millimeters. That ought to be fine. Good enough for government work. Turn that off. Ooh, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab something. All right, we're back. Yay, I've got my favorite beverage. And while we were gone, cut the little piece that we need right here. Okay, so put that on there like that. Grab this little guy. Ooh, that's just about perfect. So my only concern is I wonder, nope, I can see all the way through. So just slide this guy in here like this. Get our gear, put that back into place. Probably should have done that first. That's okay. Put that right there. This little guy has a roller, so technically this is a single gear extruder. But I mean, the Titans worked pretty well. I haven't felt the need to replace the Titan itself. Let's see. The little guy in here is kind of dirty, so I'll just clean it off with a t-shirt. Place this guy back in here like so. Bit of a balancing act at this point. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Yes, I am. Okay. So, the other one of these I have is on my Sapphire, and this fits just fine on it. Go ahead and pop this guy off for a second. That is actually a little loose. A little weird. The one I have on my Sapphire is 3D printed, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'm going to lift you up so you're not dragging a wire. Maybe if I flip it this way. It's even looser. It's okay. See, because just like I said earlier, it's good enough for government work. So we're going to try to do it just like they had it. Like just kind of having the thermistor sitting there. Is that the right thing to do? Absolutely not. Do I recommend you do that? Absolutely not. But it's what I'm going to do. It's not that I like half-assing things. It's that I don't have time to full-ass it. Oh, I almost forgot an important step. The little baggie of screws here has some extra special screws we use to further secure the heat block. I can't believe I almost forgot that. That was one thing I really wanted to show everybody too. Oh, you just poked a hole in the bag. That works. Oh no, I ripped the whole side of the bag. Oh, okay. Hey, do our best not to bend the heat break itself. You need to take it apart. So, grab my, let's see, is this the right size? Nope. Put my 1/4 inch down, grab my 9/32, put that on the ratchet. Probably a better idea if I grab this guy. That right, that. There we go. Undo the nozzle here. Say they didn't do that on the last one. They got thermal paste in here. Okay. Not really where I would want thermal paste, guys. That's weird. Well, y'all are seeing this the same time I'm seeing it, so it is what it is. Leave it for now. If it starts causing an issue, it just means I get to have more fun taking it apart later. Alright, so now that we got this apart, and it's got a square, this metal plate has a square-ish hole to hold the heat break in place even further. Basically, if you screw it up, you're really going to mangle that throat. I don't think they can really get in any legal trouble as long as they're not using 4 points of contact. I also don't hold anything really against Slice for them wanting to protect their stuff. I mean, come on. There's a reason they got so popular. Alright, so let's hold all that in place. There, okay. Then we take our special little friends. So I drop the screw into these 2 holes, and they'll screw back in where I took the other ones out of that metal plate. You know, I'm probably not showing y'all very well what this looks like. But I'm not tightening them up too much at first. I want to get them both in first. In fact, I probably did that one a little too much. Let's back it out. There we go. So here, if you tighten it too much, you're going to cock this at an odd angle, right? So we got to make sure we're putting an even amount of pressure on both sides so that 1, we're not messing up the heat break itself, and 2, we don't want our, nozzle pointing in a weird direction. Gotta hate it when our nozzles are pointing in weird directions, right guys? These don't need to be insanely tight, just snug and even. Trying to look at it in the camera. It's good enough for me, maybe a little more on this side. Good enough for government work. Let's see, let's get the nozzle back in place. Trying not to touch their thermal paste. At least I'm assuming it is. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I've only been 3D printing for a few years. One of my upcoming videos is going to be me trying to figure out how to install Clipper in the future. So, I mean, there's plenty of things I don't know. Maybe it is a normal thing to put thermal paste on the nozzle itself. And I've definitely heard of putting it on the heat break, between the heat break and the heat sink. Maybe between the thermistor and the heat block. I don't know. It's just, I mean, again, you don't know what you don't know, and this may be something I don't know. And that's okay. So let's get this back down here. We'll just get it a little tight. No need to go crazy because I'm still going to tighten it when it's hot. I mean, it looks pretty nice. At the very least, you can say she's pretty. All right. This also works with Bowden. You can literally just slap. Forgot about the hole. Now I got stuff all over the floor. You can literally just slap one of these little guys right up here. I'm not going to put it all the way in, but it's a little Bowden coupler. I'm not a big fan of these, but they get the job done in a pinch. Put it in here, put it in your normal little collar. You are good to go. Stuff off the floor real quick. Messy guy, trying not to be though. All right. So, let's try this one more time. And that slid in there. Turn it the way I want it. Gonna slide this over the bead as best we can, maybe. Bit over the bead. There it goes. A little bit of a brass sleeve there. Both of these in at the same time. I don't know, actually, I'm kind of curious. Let's see if we can get them to slide in on this side. I just don't think I've got enough slack, is the issue. Undo a screw under here a little bit. There we go. There we go. One more screw to contend with. A little bit of a snug. I don't think we want to tighten that one too much because that brass will probably bend right in onto that glass bead and break it. All right. Let's see if that will work. Just not sure we're going to have enough slack on the thermistor cable. That is my concern, my friends. Turn it back that way. Turn it back that way. Who knows? Maybe somebody will be like, hey, Josh, there was totally an easier way to get that done. You are an idiot. I'll go, thank you, sir. Please, by all means, tell me the easier way. For I no longer want to be an idiot. Get out of there. All right. Now let's, Oh, wow. Wow. I was just saying I didn't want to be an idiot. Y'all remember that, right? Y'all remember. Let's tilt you up a little bit. I almost forgot to put the extruder back together. That wouldn't have gotten me very far now, would it? Silly human. This guy over here. All right, let's see what else I'm forgetting. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. But let's double check, triple check. Nope, we're good. All right, cool. There we go. Again, the only thing that is irritating me so far is my 3D printed version of the fan holder for the hot end was much tighter than this one. And that's not this thing's fault, you know, it's just the nature of the beast. This was made for that specific clone sitting over there. Yes, I did just try to use my nose to hold that in place, and no, it did not work. I don't know that I need to point stuff out like that. YouTube's still fairly new to me. I'm finding my bearings, but we shall get there. There's a little bit of slack in that. Why? Ah, crap. I almost messed up. Let's loosen all these a little bit. So, obviously, the gears should slot into both sides of the body. I did not have it slotted in to... I did not have the big gear slotted in to the bearing on the other side. There we go. Slack gone. Neat. Yep, it's okay to make mistakes. Just got to fix them. If you can't fix them, that's what we use lighter fluid for. And let's get this all back on. That is going to be loose. Sure, there's something I can do about that later, but we'll see. I just want to see if I can get this up and going first. It's fighting me. Fighting me. Something's fighting me. Let's see. Let's say it's just the hot end wires. Yeah, I think so. That's fine. So those, you can be a little, I mean, don't break anything, obviously, but just manipulate it how you need to get it back in place. I will say, Kingroon, not the biggest fan of this design. It feels like, I mean, it'll hold up, but it definitely feels like the sheet metal is getting worn a little thin. Come on, you. Don't tighten it up too much because the other side's still going to be a pain in the butt. Mine actually came bent. I say, right here, you can see this corners. It looks a little wonky too. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but it is bent there in that corner. Definitely going to need to re-level the bed, possibly do the E-steps. I don't think I've ever done the E-steps. They just kind of worked out of the box. That's one thing I can definitely give them. I don't think I've ever actually hooked this computer up to hooked this machine up to my computer. All right. There we go. We're all set back up. Yep, so I don't have multiple computers that I can use. Well, that's not necessarily true. I don't have another computer that belongs to me that I could use to show y'all how to PID auto-tune. What I can do is link some videos, if I remember. I don't make any promises. Link some videos in the chat to some other YouTubers that have done really good videos on hooking printers up to Pronterface or hooking up printers to Raspberry Pis with Clipper and Octo, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. There's some great videos out there on all that stuff. I'm just going to use Pronterface. I'm going to hook it up. I'm going to PID auto-tune it, re-level the bed, and go from there. Don't forget to hook up your extruder motor, like I always seem to do, except this time. One mod I did already do was this over here. This little guy. Want to say there's one on Thingiverse and one on printables. I don't remember which one this came from, but it's working really well to, you know, relieve tension of the bed cables. PEI sheet that they made, this thing is great. This is one of the better PEI sheets I've used. I'd put this right up there next to the Fullment one. The only difference is that this isn't double-sided, unfortunately. It's just the textured. But that's good. I prefer textured anyways. I don't expect the quality to change much, to be honest. While the stock hot end was working, it was working pretty dang well. Just that PTFE tube decided to bite the dust. 219, 218, 217. It hit 220 a minute ago when I wasn't looking. And now it's going back down. I'm definitely going to have to PID auto-tune the bed. Let's see, I think I had a piece of filament sitting down here somewhere. Yep, here we go. It's all tore up from the floor up. Get it? Because I got it off the floor. Give me a pair of nippers. It's coming out nice and straight. It's not curling up or nothing. Oh, nice. There we go. Alright, well, hey guys, thanks for watching. Peace.